Hello students, my name is Bhavna Singh. I am working as an assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is an online tutorial series on e-commerce. So let's begin today's session. Students, in today's lecture we will start with unit 2 and these are the topics that we will covering in today's session. That is, what is value chain, what is supply chain and supply chain management, Porter's value chain model, what are the various primary and secondary activities of the Porter's value chain model, and what are the various benefits of e-commerce in the value chain model. Now, what is value chain in e-commerce? It is a way of organizing the activities of a business so that each activity adds value or productivity to the total operation of the business. In 1985, Michael Porter introduced this term value chain, and by value chain, he refers to that all the activities, or you can say all the set of functional activities of a business organization that adds some value to its products or its services when it provided to the end customers. And it is a step by step process in which at every step some value is adding to the raw material or some value is adding to the products or services. So he introduced value chain as a strategic tool to identify how the critical components of business tie together to deliver value for the business across the value chain process. That means Michael Porter, he introduced this term value chain as a set of activities and as a set of components that are working together inside a business in order to provide the values for its products or services that particular organization is providing to its end customers. And in this organization, the raw material is received as an input and some value is added to them through various processes. For example, we receive some raw material from the suppliers, and these raw materials are processed, or some operations they are performed on these raw materials in order to convert these raw materials into the finished product so that we can distribute it to the final customers. So it is the set of activities that is adding some values to the raw material at every step and converting that raw material into the finished products. Now there are two components of value chain. First one is primary activities and the second one is support activities. So let us discuss each one of them. Now, what are primary activities? It is associated with the mission of the firm, and they are the processes that create products and services. Means primary activities are those activities which are main, or you can say which are more important or more crucial for the business organization, and these are the activities that are involved in the production and distribution of the products to the final customers. And these are the activities that are involved in the designing, in the production, in the distribution, marketing, advertisements, sales. All these activities, these are the part of primary activities, and they are playing an important role inside the business organization in order to add some value to their products and services that the organization is selling or is providing to its end customers. So in short, we can say that these are the basic activities, or you can say these are the most crucial activities that are involved in the production. Now the next is support activities. These support activities, they are represented by the firm's infrastructure, and these activities support primary activities and each other. That means these activities, they provide support to the primary activities, and they are not directly involved in the production, in the designing, or in the marketing and advertisements of products, but they are indirectly helping or indirectly supporting the primary activities that are involved in the actual production of goods. And these activities are very much essential because without these support activities, neither the primary activities nor the value creation activities, they cannot be done, or the product cannot be produced in the actual sense, you can say, but it serves as a backbone for these primary activities. Now the next topic is supply chain. What is a supply chain? It is the system of organizations, people, activities, information, and resources that are involved in moving a product or service from supplier to customer. And these supply chain activities, they transform the raw materials and components into a finished product that is delivered to the end customers. That means the supply chain, it is an entire system of producing and delivering a product, or you can say a services, and it is involved from the very beginning stage, like providing the raw materials, to the final delivery of the product or services to the end users. Therefore, we can say that it is a network, or you can say it is a global network of the organizations that are collaborating with each other in order to improve the entire flow of raw materials from the suppliers, then to the manufacturers, and then finally it is distributed to the end users. So this complete chain that is starting with the suppliers and ending to the end customers, this is entire chain or entire network is known as the supply chain. Now let us understand the concept of supply chain with the help of this example. Suppose there is an e-commerce company which is having a website, or it is operating through a website, and this website, it sells various products on it. So when a customer places an order for a product on this website, then that order is being processed by the order system, or you can say the checkout cart. And when this customer places an order, then the payment processors, they come in and deal with the payment transactions for the order and all. And after the product is placed, then this order is goes to the warehouse, and the warehouse, it receives the order and ensure that the product is ready for the delivery. And then the warehouse company, it provides this order, or it delivers this product to the shipping company. And when the shipping company, it receives the order, it provided to the customers and when the customer, it receives, the cycle completes. So like this only the process goes on, and then the again customer will place the order on the website, and then it will go to the products order, and then it will go to the warehouses, and then shipping company, and finally to the end customer. So like this the entire network, or like this the entire process is going on and on. Now we have four types of metrics for the supply chain. The first one is perfect orders. Perfect orders means that are completely perfect. That means the percentage of orders that are completely error free, and that do not have any kind of error in them, that do not have any kind of damages to them. Then the second is cash to cash cycle time. That means the number of days between paying for the certain raw materials and then after that getting paid for the final product. So between this, the number of days is known as this cash to cash cycle time. Then we have order cycle time. Order cycle time is the time from order receipt to the final product delivery. Then we have the fourth one is fill rate. Fill rate is the percentage of the orders, or the amount of orders that are delivered as they are ordered on the first shipment. So these are the four basic metrics that represents the supply chain. Now what is supply chain management? Supply chain management refers to the management of an interconnected network of businesses involved in the ultimate delivery of goods and services to customers. That means the supply chain management, it is the management of the supply chain, and it is involved from in the management of the flow of goods and all the services, and it includes all the processes that transforms the raw materials that we are getting from the suppliers, and then converting it into a finished product, and then distributing this finished product to the final customers. So management of this entire supply chain is the duty of the supply chain management, and the main objective is to improve the supply chain performance so that we can produce the timely and accurate products and can deliver it to the final customers. And these effective supply chain systems, they can help both the manufacturers as well as the retailers to cut the cost of producing or shipment or storing product that cannot be sold. So all these things, they are handled in an effective manner by the supply chain management. Now we will discuss what are the various components that are making up the supply chain. The first one is the customer. Customer, you can say it is the start of the supply chain, or it is the starting phase of the supply chain, because initially the customer, decides to purchase a particular product, and for that purchasing it contacts the sales department of a particular company. And after contacting, the sales order is completed with the date of delivery and the quantity of the product that is requested by the customer. Then the second phase starts is planning. Planning means once the customer has made his or her sales order, then the planning department, it will start creating the plan, so that how to produce the product, so that it will be able to fulfill the expectations of the customers. So at this stage, the planning department will start working upon the raw materials, or will start working upon the getting details about the raw materials that they will require in order to produce the product. Then the next they contact is the purchasing. if the raw material if the raw materials, they are needed to produce the product, then the purchasing department will be notified, and they in turn send the purchasing orders to the supplier, so that they can get the raw materials from the supplier, and they will be able to deliver the product to the customer on the required date. So the next point is the inventory. Inventory means once all the raw materials, they have been delivered from the supplier, then they are checked for the quality and accuracy, and then they are stored in the warehouse till they are required by the production department. Now this production department, they are working in actual, or they are producing the actual product for the customers. So for that they require the raw materials, and then the raw materials, they are moved to the production side, and the production department, they start working on it. And when the products are complete, or when the products are completely produced, then they are tested and then moved back to the warehouse, for depending upon the date of delivery that is required by the customer. At the end, there is a component, that is the transportation. When it is required, when the finished product, it is moved into the storage, and now the transportation department, it determines when the product will leave the warehouse, so that it will be delivered to the customers on time. So this is how the entire process of the supply chain is working upon, and it is initially starting with the customer and ending with the transportation to the customer as well. Now we will discuss about the goals of supply chain. The first one is cost. Cost means the main objective of the supply chain is to produce all the goods and services at the minimum cost by applying all the minimum cost effective strategies. Then the second one is time. It provides all the production, all preparation or manufacturing within the shortest time, or within the specified time that was specified by the customers. Then the third, it aims to provide the quality products to these customers by providing, or by making the right decisions, and providing the services with the high information and high value added contents to the customers. Then the last one is, it achieves the service level, or it achieves the customer satisfaction, or you can say the employee satisfaction, by providing the quality product within the cost, or within the specified budget, or within the specified time limits. Now the next topic is Porter's value chain model. It was developed by Michael Porter in 1985. It serves as a basic tool for diagnosing competitive advantage and finding ways to enhance. It identifies technologically and economically distinct activities called value activities that an organization performs in the course of doing business. This model is used to know how optimally the organizational resources are used. That means Michael Porter it introduced this model known as the Porter's value chain model, and with the help of this model we are able to analyze the complete analysis of a company, like how the various operations are occurring inside the companies and how various set of activities that are conducting inside the companies in order to produce the certain goods and services for the customers, and how these activities they are adding some values to the raw materials that they are getting from the suppliers, and then they are producing the final product with the help of those raw materials by processing them and then finally delivering those final products to the end customers. So how all these activities are actually conducted inside the organization, and how value is added to the some raw material, or how value is added at each step, all these things we can be able to analyze with the help of this value chain model. Now this is the diagram of Porter's value chain model. In this you can see that the primary value activities are the inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and services. These are the primary activities. That means these are the most important activities that are involved in the actual development of the product. And the second, we have the support, or you can say the secondary value activities, like the firm's infrastructure, human resource management, technology development, procurement. All these are activities that are providing the support to the primary activities, but these are not involved in the direct development of the product, but they are providing the support to the primary activities. Now we will discuss all the primary activities of the value chain model one by one. The first one is inbound logistics. Inbound logistics include that all the activities that are required to receive the raw material from the suppliers, then storing them and disseminating the inputs. So it basically involves how we are creating the relationship with the suppliers. Then the second is operations. Operations means when we get these raw material from the suppliers, that what are the operations that are conducted on those raw materials, and what are those activities that are required to transform this input into the output. Output means the products or the services, and input means the raw material that we are getting from the suppliers. Then third one, we have the outbound logistics. Outbound logistics means that all the activities that are required to collect those finished products, store them and then distribute the final product to the end customers, means it is more related to the distribution channel. Then the next one, we have service. Service means that all the activities that are required to keep the services working or to keep the product working effectively for the buyer after it is delivered to the end customers. Then the next one, we have the marketing and the sales. Marketing means we are doing the advertisements about the product, and we are informing the buyers about the products and services, and we are convincing them to buy them or to purchase them. So in this way we are facilitating their purchases. So all these are the main activities, or you can say the primary activities that are involved in the actual building of the product and then the distributing it to the final customers. Now we will discuss the support activities, that is the secondary activities, one by one. The first one is procurement. Procurement means the acquisition of inputs for the organization, or acquiring the resources for the organization. Then the second one, we have human resource management. Human resource management, it involves all the activities that are involved in providing training to the employees, or providing skills to the employees, and hiring or recruiting employees. So all these things related to the personnel is included in the human resource. Then the second next one is the technological development. Technological development means it involves all the activities related to the hardware, software, the technologies we are using so that we can transform the input to the output. So all the equipments, hardware, software, tools and techniques, technical knowledge, all these things, they are included in the technological development. Then the next, we have the infrastructure. Infrastructure, it consists of the departments, various departments inside the organization, like the accounts department, finance department, planning, designing, or quality assurance, management. So all these departments that are serving the company's needs, and they are working together in order to achieve a certain goal. This all refers to the infrastructure. So all these activities, they are not directly involved in the actual production, but they are providing the support to the primary activities. Now these are the various benefits that are provided by the value chain process. The first one is the new customers. New customers means we are able to reach more and more customers by creating new channels with the suppliers or manufacturers or distributors. Then the next is new sales channels. We can provide direct selling, or we can provide we can establish new channels, we can establish new distributive channels with more and more customers. That will help us to provide new channels. Then the next is improved productivity. Means we can apply more and more tools and techniques and more advanced techniques, so that we can improve the productivity, or we can improve the quality of the products. Then the next is better data for more informed decisions. That means if we get the more accurate data, so that will help the company to adjust the inventory level accordingly. Then we have the new services. If we extend the business process, then it will add the value added services, and it will provide us the new services. Then the next is higher customer satisfaction. By having a better and deeper relationship with the customers, we can ensure that the more and more customers, they become satisfied, and we can ensure the happier and more loyalty with the customers, who spend more and more money and return more often. So all these benefits, these are provided by the value chain process. So students, these are the most frequently asked questions based on today's session. That is, first one is describe the Porter's value chain model with diagram. Then the second one is what are the primary secondary activities of Porter's value chain model. In this question, you have to explain each and every activity that is involved in primary and secondary activities. So students, here we are ending our today's session, and in the next session we will discuss about the inter-organizational value chains, and I hope it was a fruitful lesson for you all. Thank you so much for watching.